Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real. This world is a battlefield. Most people are running their mouths, pointing fingers, complaining about how life isn't fair. They waste their breath trying to convince others of their worth. But the truth is, real power is found in silence and relentless action. You want success? You want respect? Then stop making noise about it. Work hard in silence, let success make the noise. Your progress should speak so loud that you don't have to. Here's the harsh reality. Nobody cares about your dreams as much as you do. Nobody will fight for them like you will. So what do? You go to war every day for yourself. You focus on leveling up. You focus on building strength, discipline, and skill, and you keep your mouth shut while doing it. People love to talk, they love to criticize. But let me tell you something important. A lion doesn't have to roar to prove it's a lion. Its presence alone demands respect. The problem is, too many of you are looking for validation from others. You waste time seeking approval instead of sharpening your own blade. It's like trying to explain the taste of success to those who have only known failure. It's pointless. So why bother? Put your head down, work, sacrifice, and when the results start speaking, the world will have no choice but to listen, because results are undeniable. Silence is a weapon that most people don't know how to wield. They are addicted to noise, to the sound of their own voices, constantly broadcasting their intentions, their dreams, and their so-called ambitions to anyone willing to listen. They crave acknowledgement, validation, and praise for ideas they haven't even executed yet. And that's the problem. They think words are the game, but words are just the echo of intention. Action is where the true game is played. You see, the more you speak about what you plan to do, the more energy you waste. You leak power every time you explain yourself to people who will never understand your vision. It's like pouring water into a leaking cup. They smile, they nod, and the moment you walk away, they forget. Because the truth is, most people aren't really listening. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. And here's the brutal truth. The more you talk about your goals, the less likely you are to achieve them. It's a psychological trick. Talking about your dreams gives you a false sense of accomplishment. It makes you feel like you've already done something when all you've done is wasted time. The grind, the effort, the blood and sweat, none of that happens with words. It happens in silence, in the late nights when everyone else is asleep, in the early mornings when the world is too lazy to move. The world is filled with talkers. You hear them everywhere, especially in this age where social media gives everyone a megaphone. People are too busy showing off their potential instead of realizing it. They want likes, comments, followers. They want applause for promises. But applause for promises is worthless. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, you build an aura of unpredictability. People can't figure you out, and that's your advantage. It makes them uncomfortable. They want to know your moves, your strategy, your intentions. But why give them the blueprint to your success? Why give them the pleasure of judging your progress? Silence is control. It's restraint. It's understanding that the journey is yours and yours alone. When you're silent about your plans, nobody can criticize what they don't know. Nobody can sabotage what they can't see. Your silence keeps you sharp, keeps you focused. And when you finally make your move, it's already too late for anyone to stop you. The most dangerous individual is the one who doesn't announce his arrival. It's the one who quietly sharpens his skills, learns his lessons, and refines his craft. The one who is too busy working to bother explaining himself to others. That's the man who wins. That's the person who dominates. Your silence is your preparation. It's your shield against the noise of the world. Because the noise will always be there. The naysayers, the doubters, the haters. They will always have something to say. But when you operate in silence, their words can't touch you. You are untouchable. Because you're not here to talk, you're here to build. You're here to conquer. Let your work speak so loudly that their words are drowned out. Let your results be the only explanation you ever need to give. Self-improvement is the cornerstone of every successful journey. It's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. And here's the truth most people don't want to accept. You are your greatest investment. Every hour you spend improving yourself compounds into results the average person can't even comprehend. People love to chase shortcuts. They want success handed to them like it's some cheap prize. They want the results without the effort. the rewards without the sacrifice. But the universe doesn't work that way. It gives nothing to those who aren't willing to earn it. And earning it starts with building yourself into something exceptional. You have to be willing to spend countless hours refining your skills, expanding your knowledge, and fortifying your mindset. It's about discipline, unshakable, ruthless discipline. Because the world doesn't reward the lazy or the entitled. It rewards those who are relentless in their pursuit of improvement. Most people never reach their potential because they refuse to master themselves first. They want the money, the recognition, the power, but they neglect the most crucial part of the equation, their own growth. It's like demanding a kingdom before you've even learned to build a fortress. The process of self-improvement is brutal. It's uncomfortable. It's the willingness to look at your flaws and weaknesses not with shame, but with determination to crush them. It's about being painfully honest with yourself, realizing that who you are today is not good enough for the future you desire, and then having the guts to change that. You have to work on your mind, read, learn, absorb information like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. The moment you stop learning, you start dying. You fall behind and the world leaves you choking on its dust. Mental strength is built through knowledge, and knowledge is earned, not given. Then there's your body. Your physical state is a reflection of your discipline. If you can't control your own body, how do you expect to control anything else in life? Training hard isn't just about aesthetics, it's about conditioning your mind to push through pain, to embrace discomfort, to go beyond your limits until your limits expand. And most importantly, you need to work on your character, because talent without character is a ticking time bomb. If you lack integrity, focus, and resilience, you will crumble the moment you face adversity. And trust me, adversity is coming whether you're ready or not. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you deserve. And what you deserve is determined by the work you put into yourself when nobody is watching. It's the hours you grind while everyone else is wasting time. It's the days you spend improving instead of complaining. Self-improvement isn't a phase, it's a lifestyle. It's a non-negotiable commitment to making yourself better every single day, even if it's just by 1%, because that 1% compounded over time becomes an unstoppable force. You can't control the world. You can't control the economy, politics, or other people's opinions, but you can control yourself. You can control how hard you work, how disciplined you are, how committed you remain to your own growth. Here's the secret. If you're not actively working to become stronger, you're getting weaker. There's no middle ground. Improvement is a constant process. It's a battlefield where every single day you either win or lose. Stop waiting for opportunities to come your way. Create them by becoming so valuable, so skilled, so sharp that opportunities have no choice but to find you. Elevate yourself so high that your mere existence commands respect. And if respect isn't given, you take it by proving that you are not to be ignored. Every hour you spend sharpening yourself is an hour stolen from your competitors. It's an investment they will never get back. While they're distracted, complaining, or indulging in comfort, you are evolving. You are moving closer to greatness. Your self-improvement journey is yours alone. It's not meant to be broadcasted, advertised, or explained. It's meant to be lived, embraced, and executed with relentless intensity. Because at the end of the day, you are your only true competition. The person you were yesterday is the only opponent worth destroying. Critics are like background noise, constantly buzzing, eager to tear you down, desperate to find flaws in your ambition. Their words are cheap, their opinions are worthless, and their approval means nothing. You have to understand one simple truth. People will criticize you no matter what you do, so why waste time trying to please them? The world is filled with people who have achieved nothing but consider themselves experts on everything. They sit comfortably on the sidelines, throwing stones at those who dare to take action. They've convinced themselves that their words matter, that their judgments are valid. But here's the reality. Their words only have power if you choose to listen. Critics thrive on the weakness of others. They project their insecurities, their failures, and their lack of courage onto anyone who has the audacity to chase something greater. They hate the idea of someone doing what they were too afraid or too lazy to attempt. So they try to drag you down to their level, where mediocrity feels safe. The harshest critics are usually those who have done nothing worth mentioning. They lack the courage to build, to create, to strive. So they compensate by trying to destroy. But destruction is easy. It requires nothing but bitterness and a loudmouth. Creation, progress, success, those require effort, sacrifice, and resilience. And that's what separates you from them. When you listen to critics, you hand them power over your life. You let them occupy space in your mind that should be reserved for your own progress. You allow their words to become barriers in your path. But you need to realize that their opinions are irrelevant. They are mere spectators of a game they never had the guts to play. Successful people don't waste their time responding to critics. They don't justify themselves, explain themselves, or even acknowledge the negativity thrown their way, because they understand something fundamental. No critic will ever be able to do what they do. No critic will ever be able to walk in their shoes, endure their struggle, or match their dedication. If you focus on the criticism, you will lose sight of your purpose. You will become distracted, tangled up in pointless debates, trying to prove yourself to people who have no value in your life. That's a losing battle, because for every critic you silence, another 10 will rise. And the more successful you become, the louder they get. You have to be stronger than their noise. You have to be so locked in, so obsessed with your own growth that their words can't touch you. Because when you're truly focused, criticism becomes irrelevant. It becomes nothing more than background chatter that fades away the moment you get back to work. Understand this, greatness always attracts criticism. The higher you climb, the more people will try to pull you down, not because you've done something wrong, but because you're doing something right. Your progress makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to confront their own lack of progress. You're not here to make friends. You're not here to win over every voice that questions your journey. You're here to build, to achieve, to dominate. And critics are nothing but obstacles meant to test your resolve. The best response to criticism is to rise above it, to turn it into fuel, to let it push you even harder towards your goals. Every insult, every doubt, every piece of negativity, convert it into power. Let it drive you to become even better, even stronger. And when the results start to show, when your achievements speak for themselves, the critics will either disappear or pretend they always believed in you. Because that's how it works. When you're struggling, they mock you. When you succeed, they envy you. But their opinions never mattered. They were only distractions meant to slow you down. Silence is your response. Progress is your answer. Success is your revenge. You don't have time to argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have time to fight battles that aren't worth winning. Leave the critics where they belong, in the dust behind you. Because the more you focus on them, the further you drift from your purpose. You're not here to explain yourself. You're here to execute. And that requires every ounce of your energy, every second of your time. You can't let their words penetrate your mind. You have to build a fortress of resilience so strong that nothing can break through. And the beauty of it all? When you reach the top, when you've achieved everything you set out to accomplish, their words will have meant absolutely nothing. Seeking validation is a disease. It's a trap that keeps you chained to the opinions of others, constantly looking for approval, acceptance, and praise. It's a weakness that most people carry with them their entire lives, never realizing it's the very thing holding them back. Because the moment you start living for validation, you give others the power to control you. Here's the truth. The need for validation is a weakness, and weakness gets exploited. When you allow your self-worth to be determined by how others perceive you, you've already lost the battle, because people will manipulate that need. They'll use it against you, discourage you, belittle you, and make you doubt yourself. All because you allowed their opinions to matter. People will always have something to say. Always. Whether you're succeeding or failing, they will judge you, they will try to categorize you, label you, fit you into a box that makes sense to them. And if you let their opinions shape your actions, you'll spend your entire life chasing a mirage of approval that will never truly satisfy you. Validation from others is a lie. It's hollow, it's temporary. You might receive applause one day and criticism the next. If you live for their approval, you'll die from their rejection. Because public opinion is fickle. It changes like the wind. And if you're building your identity on that unstable foundation, you're destined to crumble. The most powerful individuals in history never sought validation. They understood that their worth was defined by their own standards, their own discipline, their own unwavering commitment to their purpose. They didn't ask for permission to succeed. They just did the work and let the results speak for themselves. The problem with seeking validation is that it makes you desperate. It makes you soft. When you're constantly looking over your shoulder, worrying about what others think, you lose focus, you lose intensity. You become a slave to perception instead of a master of execution. You need to build your own standards, your own code of excellence. Because at the end of the day, you are the only one who truly knows what you're capable of. You are the only one who can push yourself to your limits and then break through them. And no amount of applause or approval will ever match the satisfaction of knowing you've achieved something because you earned it. Understand this. If you need others to validate your dreams, then those dreams are not truly yours. They belong to the crowd. And the crowd doesn't care about your success. They care about entertainment. They care about the spectacle. They care about the drama. So why give them power over you? Why let them dictate how far you can go, how high you can climb? When you seek validation, you're handing over control of your destiny to people who will never walk your path, never understand your vision, and never feel the hunger that drives you. Validation is a distraction. It's noise meant to pull you away from your mission. Because the more you chase approval, the less energy you have to focus on the work that actually matters. You can't be obsessed with growth and obsessed with approval at the same time. One has to go. The only validation you need is your own. The satisfaction of knowing you showed up every day and did the work. The pride of seeing yourself improve, of building something from nothing, of turning your ambitions into reality. That's the real prize. Not the cheap applause of strangers. Stop announcing your goals. Stop looking for people to congratulate you before you've even accomplished anything. Stop begging for permission to be great. Your greatness is not up for debate. It's not something that needs to be discussed or agreed upon. It's something you earn. When you truly understand this, you become untouchable because nobody's opinion can affect you. Nobody's criticism can shake you. You're no longer playing by their rules because you've created your own. You've established a standard of excellence that exists solely within yourself. And here's the beauty of it. The moment you stop seeking validation, you become free. Free to pursue your goals with ruthless focus. Free to push past your limits without worrying about what anyone else thinks. Free to build the life you want on your own terms. When you achieve success on your own terms, it's undeniable, it's unquestionable, it's real, because it was built without the need for applause, without the desire for approval. It was built from the ground up, brick by brick, through sheer determination and relentless action. The people who matter are the ones who respect the journey, not just the destination. And most of them won't even understand your journey until it's over. So why bother explaining yourself along the way? Why waste energy trying to impress people who are too distracted by their own insecurities to appreciate the grind? Validation is a parasite. Cut it off, starve it, and in its absence, you will find the purest form of motivation, the drive to become better simply because you refuse to settle for anything less. Relentless action is the backbone of success. It's the force that turns ideas into reality, dreams into achievements, and potential into power. Talk is cheap. Vision without action is nothing but fantasy. And the world is filled with people who spend their entire lives planning, dreaming, and talking about what they want to achieve, but never taking the steps necessary to make it happen. Most people are addicted to comfort. They have grand ideas, elaborate plans, and wild ambitions, but they never execute. They get high off the illusion of progress because they confuse planning with action. But true power lies in execution. It lies in taking consistent, relentless action regardless of the obstacles or setbacks you encounter along the way. The moment you commit to relentless action, you separate yourself from the masses because the masses are lazy. They want rewards without sacrifice. They want the title without the grind. They want to win without ever playing the game. But you're not like them. You're not here to waste time talking about what you're going to do. You're here to do it. Relentless action doesn't mean working when it's convenient or when you feel motivated. Motivation is unreliable. It's fleeting, a temporary spark that dies out the moment things get difficult. Discipline, on the other hand, is unbreakable. It's the willingness to show up and put in the work, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Most people quit at the first sign of difficulty. They encounter a little resistance and suddenly their ambitions are negotiable. They make excuses. They rationalize their laziness. They convince themselves that their dreams were unrealistic to begin with. And that's why they remain average, because average people give up. Average people choose comfort over progress. But when you commit to relentless action, you develop a mindset of persistence. You understand that setbacks are part of the process. Failures are lessons. Obstacles are opportunities to become stronger. And giving up is simply not an option. Your actions must be consistent. Relentless action doesn't mean working hard for a day, a week, or even a month. It means developing an unbreakable habit of execution. It means attacking your goals every single day with the same intensity and determination, regardless of how you feel. The world rewards those who are willing to push themselves beyond their limits, who are willing to grind in silence, without recognition, without applause, without validation. The world respects results, not effort. And results only come through action. The beauty of relentless action is that it makes you unstoppable. When you take consistent, deliberate steps towards your goals, you create momentum. And once momentum is on your side, nothing can stand in your way. You become a force of nature. You become the very definition of inevitable. But here's the thing, relentless action is brutal. It requires sacrifice. It requires cutting off distractions, eliminating excuses, and confronting your weaknesses head on. It's about doing what needs to be done, not what's convenient or comfortable. The weak will try to discourage you. They'll say you're too obsessed, too focused, too extreme, but that's because they don't understand what it takes to be exceptional. They don't understand that success is built on the back of ruthless consistency, and they never will. You can't afford to wait for the perfect moment. You can't afford to wait until you feel ready, because that moment will never come. Perfectionism is a trap, a lie you tell yourself to justify inaction. You have to move forward, make mistakes, and learn as you go, because progress is always better than perfection. The world belongs to those who act, those who are willing to put themselves on the line, to take risks, to embrace discomfort and keep moving forward no matter what. Every single day you have a choice, take action or make excuses, and excuses don't build empires. Your work ethic must be ruthless. Your discipline must be unbreakable. Your actions must be relentless. That's the formula. That's the blueprint. It's simple, but it's not easy. And that's why so few people ever achieve greatness, because they're not willing to put in the work. People will talk about your obsession. They will try to convince you to slow down, to take it easy, to be more balanced. But balance is a myth sold to those who are afraid to push themselves. When you're on the path to success, there is no balance. There is only progress and stagnation, forward or backward. Relentless action means dedicating yourself fully to your mission. It means sacrificing pleasure for progress. It means outworking everyone around you until there's simply no competition left. Because while they're sleeping, wasting time and chasing validation, you're building. You're creating, you're becoming. You have to understand that every day you spend talking instead of doing, someone else is out there putting in the work. Someone else is out there grinding harder than you. And if you're not willing to outwork them, you will be left behind. Success doesn't wait for you to get comfortable. It doesn't care about your excuses or your feelings. It only respects the relentless, the ones who are willing to sacrifice their comfort, their leisure, and even their sanity to achieve what others won't. Your actions are your proof, not your words, not your intentions, just pure, ruthless, relentless action. The kind of action that speaks for itself and silences everyone who ever doubted you. The kind of action that makes you undeniable. So keep moving, keep working, keep building, and never, ever stop. Because once you embrace relentless action, there is no limit to what you can achieve. At the end of the day, the only thing that truly speaks is results. Not words, not intentions, not promises, results. In a world obsessed with opinions, gossip, and endless noise, there's one undeniable truth. Results are the final judge of your efforts. Talk is cheap. Everyone claims they want success. Everyone claims they want greatness. But very few are willing to do what it takes to make those words a reality. Most people waste their time trying to convince others of their potential instead of proving it through action. They announce their plans, boast about their intentions, and seek praise for things they haven't even accomplished yet. It's all empty. It's all meaningless. Because words without results are just noise. The world is filled with people who are addicted to attention. They want recognition without the struggle. They want praise for effort instead of achievement. But here's the harsh truth. Effort alone means nothing. Your intentions don't matter. Your excuses don't matter. The only thing that matters is what you produce, what you create, what you achieve. When you chase results instead of approval, you become powerful because results are undeniable. They're indisputable. They don't require explanation or justification. When you produce results, your work speaks for itself. It silences critics, shuts down doubters, and forces the world to pay attention. The problem with most people is that they care more about looking successful than actually being successful. They spend their energy trying to impress others instead of dedicating themselves to their mission. They seek applause instead of progress. And that's why they never achieve anything worthwhile. Results are the purest form of validation. When you produce results, you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify your choices. You don't have to convince anyone of your worth. Because the proof is right there, undeniable and concrete. But results don't come from wishing. They don't come from talking. They come from relentless action, discipline, and a level of focus that most people simply don't possess. And that's why results are rare. Because most people are too busy talking about what they're going to do instead of just doing it. Results are earned, not given. They are the reward for your sacrifice, your dedication, and your willingness to do what others are unwilling to do. And if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to be willing to produce results that are extraordinary. The beauty of focusing on results is that it eliminates all the distractions. When your eyes are locked on your goal, the opinions of others become irrelevant. Their doubts, their criticisms, their judgments, all of it fades away because you're not here to explain yourself. You're here to execute. People can argue with your opinions. They can dismiss your ideas, but they can't argue with results. They can't dismiss the undeniable proof of your efforts. And that's why the most powerful response to criticism is success. The kind of success that speaks so loudly it drowns out all the noise. The weak will always seek approval. They will always look for shortcuts, validation, and comfort. But those who are truly committed to their vision don't need approval. They don't need recognition. They don't need applause. They understand that the only thing that matters is producing results that cannot be ignored. When you produce real results, you command respect. Not because you asked for it, but because you earned it. Because you put in the work when nobody was watching. Because you pushed yourself beyond your limits and refused to settle for anything less than excellence. Your results are your voice. They are the only voice that matters. They speak louder than words, louder than opinions, louder than anything anyone could ever say about you. And when your results are undeniable, people have no choice but to acknowledge your success. But here's the thing. Results don't come easily. They require obsession. They require grit. They require a relentless drive to keep pushing forward even when everything around you is telling you to quit. Most people aren't willing to pay that price. That's why most people never achieve anything significant. You have to understand that the world doesn't care about your potential. It doesn't care about your dreams or your intentions. It only cares about results. It only rewards those who are willing to put in the work, who are willing to grind in silence until their achievements speak for themselves. The moment you shift your focus from seeking approval to producing results, you become unstoppable because results are the only thing that matter. They are the currency of success. They are the proof that your ambition is more than just talk. Don't waste your time explaining yourself to people who don't matter. Don't waste your energy trying to convince others of your vision. Just produce results. Let your achievements speak for themselves. Let your success silence everyone who ever doubted you. The only validation you need is the evidence of your own progress. The only approval that matters is the satisfaction of knowing you've conquered your own weaknesses and achieved something truly worthwhile. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what you say you're going to do. It's about what you actually do. Results are the great equalizer. They don't care about your background, your struggles, or your excuses. They only care about your effort and your execution. And when you make results your only focus, nothing can stop you. Forget about trying to impress people. Forget about trying to earn their approval. Just focus on producing results that make them irrelevant. Results that render all their opinions meaningless. Results that establish you as a force to be reckoned with. Let the world talk. Let the critics criticize. Let the doubters doubt. Because when the results are there, all of their words become nothing but noise. At the end of the day, you have a choice: to waste your time explaining yourself to people who will never understand your vision, or to put your head down and work until your results leave them speechless. The world will always be filled with doubters, critics, and spectators who are too afraid to pursue greatness themselves. Let them talk, let them judge, let them drown in their own mediocrity. But you are different. You're here to build, you're here to execute, you're here to rise above the noise and prove yourself through your actions, not your words. Stop wasting energy trying to convince others of your worth. Stop explaining your dreams to people who are too small-minded to understand them. And most importantly, stop seeking validation from a world that's too distracted to even notice your grind. Instead, embrace the silence, embrace the loneliness of the journey, embrace the grind that separates you from everyone else. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is what you create. The only voice that matters is the roar of your results. So, be relentless, be ruthless, be obsessed with execution, and when it's all said and done, when your results speak loud enough to silence every doubter and every critic, only then will the world realize what you've been building in the dark. Remember this: focus on yourself, stay silent, and let your success do all the talking.